Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be explaining formulas and function in Microsoft Excel. So here, what I will be starting with is how to use addition, subtraction, divisions, and multiplication, in which all these are called formulas in Microsoft Excel. So I will start by applying addition to this number. We can see number here. Number we have 20, 12, 19, 15, 23, 45, 12, 20, 20. These are numbers. Then I'll be applying all these operations on these numbers. So I will start with addition. So applying addition here. So I will apply the formula. This is cell A. So I'm going to write A. Okay, I'm going to start with equals to, because if you don't start with equals to, it's not going to recognize it. So A, you can see it now. You can see it here. Then I will add A3 plus A4 plus A5. Then I can also drag it. So I think there is error. So let me just continue with the writing. But I can also drag it also to occupy those A6 plus A7 plus A8 8 plus A9. So these are just like the addition, and if I press enter, you see that this is the addition of all this. And if you try to use your calculator or any means to add this number, you see that the total will be 167. So now I can easily minus, probably I can minus 20, this A2 A1. I can minus A2. I can minus A3 from A2. So if I said A2 minus A3, so like I'm minusing 12 from 20. And if I click on enter, you see if you minus 12 minus, if you minus 20, 12 out of 20, you see that your result will be 8. So now coming to addition. So I want to try just dividing. Let me just pick A7. So A7 divided by divided by 5. So I have to put equals to here. So if I use equals to here, it's going to give me 9. So dividing this is my A7. So dividing my A7 here, I can see like this A7 is 45. So I try to divide this A7, which is 45, divided by 5, and I can see that my result is 9. Then multiplication. So how can you multiply in Microsoft Excel? So I can multiply any value with, I can pick, let me pick A3. So equals to A3 multiply by 3. Let me just use 3. So A3 is 12. So if I multiply 3 by A3, so it's going to give me 36. So this how, and if I click on this, I can easily see the formulas that I used to achieve this. So I use this for getting the addition, then I use this for getting the subtraction, and we can see it. I minus A3 from A2, then I, for the division part, I divided A7, which is 45, divided by 5. Then for multiplication, I multiply A3 by 3. So that's all about addition, subtraction, divisions, and multiplication in Microsoft Excel. So moving to the next, here I have expenses, I have price, I have date, I have fuel, under my expenses I have fuel, I have food, I have taxi, I have coffee, I have taxi, I have coffee, I have food, I have this kind of item here. So I want to apply some function in Microsoft Excel to solve this, to get the total, the average, the deal mean, median, mean, max and blank. Blank is just like missing value where there is nothing in the spreadsheet. So I'm going to apply some certain function to this, and I'm going to see what I'm going to see the result. So for total, I can, instead of me adding, this is b, so instead of using b2 plus b3 plus b4, so instead of doing this I can easily use sum function. So I will just say equals to sum bracket b2, and my range is it started from b2 to b8. No, it stopped at b10. So that's my range, and if I click on enter, I'm going to see this is just like the addition of my price. So the total price here is 147.19. Then when we are talking about average too, just like adding all the price then divided by the numbers. So I can easily use function to equals to function. So the function that I'm going to use for the average is the function average. So average bracket b2. Don't let us forget that b2 b2 to b10, like our range that we are working with is from b2 to b10. So if I use this b2 to b10, checking for the average, I'm going to press enter, and I can see that this is the average of my price. So the average price is 18.3988. Then looking for the deal mean, I can also use a function called deal mean, and I can see that it has already suggested that for me. So I'll just put my range. I already know that my range is from b2 to b10. So if I click on enter, it's going to give me the deal mean for this price is 12.2633. So then checking for the minimum price, that is to check where there is the minimum price out of, or probably to check for my expense, to check through my expenses and check the one that has the one that has a minimum price, the one I spend less on. So let me just use, I can use a function called mean b2 b10. So if I click on it, so I can see that my minimum value is 2.5. So if I check through, this is just a small data. That's why it's very easy for me to just scan through. So I'm checking through to confirm if my function is correct. 2.5, I can easily see it here, 2.5. So working with, oh sorry, this should be median. So that's a mistake. Median, if I click on this, I can see that my median value is 14.11, and I can see that this is the functions I use, and this is my range. So going to the mean, checking for the minimum value, I already know that my range is from b2 to b10. So if I click this, I get 2.5, which is my minimum price. So checking for maximum price, I'm still going to give the range, which is from b2 to b10. So if I click this, I can see that my maximum price is 48 naira or $48. It depends on the currency. So and I can see it here that 48 has the maximum price. So checking for the blank, that is the one that is blank, that has no value. So can't blank, I can use a function called can't blank, which I can give my range into this. My range is between 2 to 10, and I can see that the only blank space I have is just one, which is this, because this is just like from B2 to B10, and the only blank row is just one, and that's what it gave me here as an output. That is very correct. So moving to the next, now I want to check for the total sales. So I have quantity here, then I have price per unit. I have quantity of 10, I have price per unit as 30. So to get the total sales here, I have to multiply 10 multiply by 30. So I can easily use A equals to A2 multiply by B B2. So to get my total sales here, because this is just like the quantity they purchase, and this is just the price per unit. So to get my total sales, I have to multiply this quantity multiply by price per unit. So using this formula, this is A2 and this is B2. So if I click enter, I can see it that the result is 300. Instead of me to keep typing it here, I can easily drag this, and it's going to autofill, like give me the result. So if I multiply this by this is what I'm going to get. If I multiply this by this, A4 multiplied by B4, I'm going to get this. B5 A5 multiplied by B5, this is what I'm going to get. So by dragging it, it saves us a lot of stress of retyping it. Also, getting the total sales here, instead of, here I have to do A2 multiply, just like now I'm working with age here. So age 2 multiply by I 2. So instead of doing this, I can easily use a function called product. So product just work the same way as multiplication, like multiplying the quantity and the price. So using this is going to, if I click on enter product, then my range my value is 82, then I2. So if I click on enter now, it gave me 300, just like the first one when I multiply A2 multiplied by B2. So now multiplying H2 multiplied by I2, I use this function product, and I impute this my the position of where my value is. The first quantity is in A2, while the second quantity is in I2. So clicking on enter now, it give me the result. Then I can easily drag this my mouse down, and it's going to autofill the result for me, and I can see it here that they are just the same. So after that being said, I have to move to the fourth one. So here also, I have to use, let me use the product sign, so that this is going to give me the answer very fast. A2 A2 and B2. So I can see that I easily get the results with this formula. So product, and if I drag this down, it's going to autofill it for me. So checking for the total here, I can easily use sum, because I want to sum all these are just like quantity, price per unit, then this is total sales. So I need to get the total sales, like the overall total sale, that is the addition of all this. Then I can use this function called sum bracket. The range I want to work with is C2 to, I'll put column in between to specify the range. Then it's going to stop at C11. So that's just my range. So this is the overall total of this. Then checking for the average, I can easily use the average function, C2 to C11. So this is the average price. This is the average total price. Then checking for the maximum, I can also use maximum, max bracket C2, the range C11. So clicking this, I can see that the maximum total here is 2,352, and if we can see that this is in C7. So minimum sales, I can use the function minimum bracket C2 C11. So this also give the minimum sales, the minimum total sales. Then the overall item, so I can use count A2 to C11. So all the value here, they are 30. Like counting from this, from A2 to C4, everything here is every value here is 30. Using that formula, count is used to count all the items. So you specifying this range, it highlighted everything, and you can see. So if I click enter now, I can see 30 as my result. So checking for the next, so the next value now is this involve invoice number, stock code, description, quantity, invoice date, unit price, customer ID, and country. So here I have to perform some data cleaning here. We can see this value here, stock code, is not, we can see that here is in one order, and this, there is a space between the first one. So what I'm going to do, cleaning this data, I'm going to use a function called trim. The function of trim is to remove the white space and make it in order. So let me just apply it and let's see what is going to happen. So B2 to B6, and if I click on enter, we can see now that everything is now in order compared to how scattered it is here. And also from this description, you can see that everything is just in uppercase letter. So what can I do? I can just use proper function to just help me to put this in a proper format. So this is how proper is being used. Proper brackets C2 then to C6. So if I click on enter now, we can see now that it has changed from this to this. So it has put them in a proper order, that in an order that is presentable. So it just make the first letter to be in capital letter, then make others to be in small letter. So that's one of the functions of proper, and that's what changed this to this. So checking for unit price and quantity, I can easily use value of D2 to D6. So if I click on enter here, it bring those value here. Then country. So working with country, okay, let me before moving to country, let's work with price, unit price. So that's F. So I can use value, then work with F2 to F6. So it's going to bring, I think I made a mistake. Value equals to value F2 to F6. Let me work with country first. So working with country, uh, I can see here that also some are in capital letter. You can see United started with capital letter, Kingdom started with small letter. So here too I can easily use string function to put them, to first remove the white space, H2 to H6. Then after that, I think trim does not really have effect on it, so I can change it to proper and click on enter, and I can see now that my United start with capital letter now, then my Kingdom start with capital letter instead of some small letter, some capital letter. So I will just retype this unit price here, 3.39, 2.55. Value F2, F6. So I have to format this. Oh, maybe this the reason why. Okay, I've changed it now. So here, after highlighting that, I can also change this from this. If I don't want it to be in this two like two value after the decimal point, I can click here and we can see now that is now uh one decimal places. So total sales, my total sales, I can easily use the formula equals to proper equal to product bracket d d12 comma e12. So if I do this, it's going to give me this, that is multiplication of the quantity multiplied by price. And if I drag this down here, it's going to give me this just like total sales is just like multiplications of quantity and price, and we can see it here. So the final one here is this just like this just like a data of Apple store. So imagine you are a data analyst working in Apple company. You may be asked to work on Apple related data. So what are you going to do? Like for this one, for example, we can see here that in this product we have we have double I. This is incorrect. Instead of single I, the spelling correct spelling of apple here is Iphone. Then you can see here that there is a lot of I here. So the first thing I'm going to do is how can I remove this? So the way I'm going to remove it is by highlighting this cell. And on Mac here I can use shift, like on window you can use command, on window you can use control, you can press your control shift then down arrow. But on Mac here I'm going to use command shift and down arrow. So pressing that, you can see now that it highlighted this. Then I'm going to click on this. So I'm going to click on find. So now I'm finding this double iPhone, that is this incorrect iPhone. Then I want to click on replace. So I want to replace it with the correct spell iPhone. So clicking on this, can you see now that matches replace 20? So now he has replaced everywhere is he found double I. So let me enlarge it and we can see what I'm talking about. So now we can see now that everything is now in correct order. So I don't, this the data side. Okay, let me just quickly do it here again. So let me first enlarge this cell so that we can see what I'm doing very well. So now we can see that this iPhone is incorrect. So the next thing I'm going to do is clicking on Control Shift and down arrow. On Mac you can use Command Shift and down arrow. So clicking on this, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to click on find. So I'm finding this incorrect spelled iPhone, then I want to replace it with correct spelled iPhone, which is IPHONE. So if I replace it now, it's going to show me that matches replaced 20. So he's able to find 20 in 20 incorrect spelled iPhone, and now he has changed it by using that function. So after doing this, I'm going to do something. I'm going to look for the unique value in this product. How can I do that? I'm going to come to this. So I'm just going to I'm just going to use this function, unique bracket. I'm working with the product. The product is D D3, starting from D3. Then let me see where it stopped. That's D36. So I'm just going to use D36. Then I'm going to click enter. So these are just unique value of product. So the only product that was there is iPhone 11, 12, 7, 8 and 6. Then I'm going to do something. I'm going to look for the transpose value of B. So transpose means changing something that is in vertical to horizontal. So I'm going to use the transpose function, transpose bracket B3, then to B5. So clicking on this, I'm able to put this America, APAC, EMEA. I'm able to put them in horizontal so that I can, oh, I shouldn't have done that here. So I'm going to clean it and put it here so that there can be space. So transpose transpose B3, the range, then B B5. So we can see it now, American APAC. So now after getting this transpose, is just like we can see those value here, those region here. So what transpose help us to do is just to put them in a vertical, to bring them from vertical side to horizontal so that we can make use of them. So doing that, I'm going to use sum if function here to sum the the quantity in that particular region. So I'm going to work on the quantity, the summation of the quantity based on the product and the region. So what I'm going to use, the best function to use is sum if. So sum if, so then I need to lock some rows and some column, just because if I did not lock them, there will always be an error. Why? The formula, moving it, especially if I drag those those column, is going to give me a wrong answer. So I have to lock some so that when I drag it, it's going to give me a correct value. Then how can I lock it? We do lock by using a dollar sign. So sum if, so using sum if, then I'm going to use dollar sign, locking the first, working with the first, dollar, then 3. So locking this cell, then I'm going to specify the range. So the range is 36. So I'm going to use the dollar sign before. So I have to work with the region. I have to lock the region also. Before this can work, I have to I don't know why it's not working.